Goals and requirements of the disciplines. RAIDS. RAIDS is an acronym used for writing about a certain field of study. RAIDS stands for Revision, Arrangement, Invention, Delivery, and Style. Revision. Discovering new information depends on prior research and knowledge in the field of study. Revision happens when you update prior information in the field of study to the correct current information. Revising helps you keep the information up to date, and the work in the field of study will be more effective and meaningful. Arrangement. Arranging data will improve the way information is presented and how it is received by the reader. Arrangement will allow the reader to understand the relationship between prior information and current information. Invention. The ways you find information to write about the field of study. Invention is deciding the way to conduct research, how you will revise the prior knowledge, and what type of sources you will use for research. Invention is commonly known as brainstorming. Delivery. How the text is delivered to the reader. Also, the audience and purpose of each delivery affect the way information is presented. Style. Style contributes to how the message is conveyed to the reader. The style of writing is decided when you evaluate which audience you are targeting. Some examples are formal or informal, subjective or objective, and also active and passive verbs. Formal English is used in official, literary, academic, etc., that type of content. Informal English is used in everyday personal conversations. Here are some examples of active and passive verbs used in sentences. First, the students are taught by the professor. The passive verb would be are taught. The dishes are washed by John. The passive verb is are washed. For active verbs, the professor teaches the students. The active verb would be teaches. And John washes the dishes. The active verb would be washes. Here's the difference between objective and subjective. Writer freedom. The writer has freedom when examining the topic, approach, and development of ideas. Your subject of choice will be related to how you create a meaningful relationship between the new knowledge you are presenting and the reader's prior knowledge of the subject. Methodology and academic writers. Methodology is the way practitioners study their subject. Academic writers do not write entirely about personal experiences. Academic writers use evidence and personal experience to draw a well-supported conclusion about their subject of study. Primary sources. Primary sources are original materials. When you use primary sources, you conduct original research and generate your own evidence. Primary sources are mostly used to explain something to your readers or to persuade them to accept your conclusions. Some examples are historical documents, works of art, and reports on experiments that the writer has conducted. The Bill of Rights is a very famous primary source. Secondary sources. Secondary sources are books or articles written about primary sources. Some examples are magazines and journal articles interpreting the primary source. History books are an example of a secondary source. Writing tips. To help achieve your purpose, you need to adapt your writing process to the writing situation. Comparing, defining, illustrating, and analyzing are customary ways of thinking about and organizing a vast range of subjects. Understanding and studying the wording of each assignment will help you know the expectations of genre for your writing. The writer needs to decide what type of writing voice and information to use so the message can be understood by the reader. The audience and purpose will determine how you invent, revise, and arrange information. For example, it is not a good idea to use sophisticated words like oscillating conveyors, a word that only engineering majors will understand when presenting information to a first-year writing class. By citing your sources, you are eliminating the chance of plagiarism. Having plagiarism in your paper can ruin the entire paper. Specific document format might be required by the discipline of study. If there are no required styles, use the MLA format. Here is an MLA formatted works cited page. Using scholarly tools of the discipline will help when writing about an academic discipline. Text and materials given out during class can be valuable items for reference and will use specialized language of the discipline. When you cite your sources, you're telling your reader where you got your information from and how trusted and valid the information actually is.